Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Chris Brickner. Back in December, during an interview with Variety, James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez made a blood oath to make an Alita sequel. After the success of Avatar 2, does this make an Alita sequel more or less likely? As Cameron could use the success of the Avatar films as leverage to get it made. What are your thoughts?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Chris. And yeah, listen, the topic of Alita Battle Angel and the possibility of a sequel has been talked about for a couple of years. Now, James Cameron, Alita Battle Angel was a passion project of his for a very, very long time. And all of us were waiting for James Cameron to announce that he would be directing an Alita Battle Angel movie. That never came. Instead, he was going to produce it, and they got Robert Rodriguez to do it. Robert Rodriguez, who's made some stinkers, but he's also made some really good films at the same time. So there's that. So yeah, it's been in the news lately that James Cameron has said out loud that, hey, I want them to make another Alita Battle Angel. I want to revisit this. I want to go back to it. Even so far as saying that, yeah, that him and Robert Rodriguez made a blood oath to make an Alita Battle Angel 2. Well, that's great, except James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez aren't the ones who get to decide whether or not they make an Alita Battle Angel 2. Now, look, I thought Alita Battle Angel looked terrible from its first trailer. I started to get more on board with the other trailers that came out. And eventually when I went to go see the movie, I liked it. I mean, I didn't think it was great, but I liked it. I had fun with it. I would be one of those people that would be interested in seeing a sequel. Unfortunately, it does not come down to James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez wanting to do it. It's going to come down to, does the studio believe that such a project will make them money that is worth the investment they're going to have to put into it? Because here's the reality of the numbers. The first Alita Battle Angel, and how many years ago did that come out? I can't remember now. But that movie cost $170 million to make. $170 million.
2019.
2019? Really? It was only 2019? It feels like it was longer than that. So 4 years ago.
Really?
It's got to be older than that.
I know. I don't know. This seems fake.
Go to IMDb and look up the release date for it.
Like 10 years old.
This seems fake.
It seemed, I feel like it was older than that.
Yeah.
At any rate, guys in the live stream, let us know if you guys know the date that.
Yeah, that's 2019.
All right, 2019. So 4 years ago. It seems like it was longer than that. So 2019, $170 million. And while it certainly did not tank, it didn't do great. It made $400 million at the box office. 405 to be specific. So not an abject failure, did not bomb, did not tank, but maybe broke even? Maybe? And so the question
Ancillary
becomes,
markets, maybe.
yeah, do the studio's going to ask, okay, do we want to put up, because let's face it, another one would probably cost in the $200 to $220 million range to do. By the way, the effects in that movie were shockingly good.
Yeah.
I thought the effects in this movie were really, really quite good. But you know it's minimum going to cost $210, $220, $230. And so the studio is going to ask, do we believe there is a viable reason to believe that we're going to make significant profit on this? And the reality is, whilst somebody like me who did like the film, do I sense in the fan community at large a real hunger to go back to Alita Battle Angel? Is there adequate evidence to suggest that if you put out another one, it'll make more money than the first one? And I don't know that the answer to that question is yes. So quite frankly, James Cameron was already the guy who made the top 2 box office films of all time at the time with Titanic and Avatar, and that didn't help Alita Battle Angel make any more money. So I like to see it. I give it a 30% chance of happening, but I don't know that I would bet a lot of money in it. Anyway, Chris, what do you think here? Number one, would you be interested in seeing another Alita? Did you like the first one or not? And what do you think the chances would be of them doing another one?
I thought the first one was so very okay.
So very okay.
And if it is your jam, I'm so happy for you. I thought the aesthetic was really, really cool. I loved how everything looked. I just felt like there were a lot of different ideas in this film that didn't come to full fruition. I don't think the storytelling was all there, too, to get me to really care about the relationships in this film, too. But that's just me personally. So I don't really hear a lot of people clamoring for this. Again, if this is your jam, I'm excited for you. But I mean, I think this movie clocked in around a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that critics didn't really love this one either. I don't think James Cameron's success for this film has been, for Avatar, has been the linchpin that everyone's waiting on of, okay, now we can make Alita because you proved that you can make a great movie, Jimmy. We all knew that already. He's supported a lot of other films. He's produced things. He's made a lot of bangers. I just don't think this is a movie that a lot of folks really, really want.
So, and remember, this is not James Cameron directing.
No.
Because, you know, look what happened when he just came on board as the producer of that Terminator movie. We got Genesis. Look what happened.
Genesis.
I mean, so I don't know. I mean, listen, I liked it. Rob, you know, with Robert Rodriguez still on board with it, and who's had some hits and some misses and whatever, do you think the big success of Avatar: The Way of Water right now bolsters the chances of an Alita Battle Angel? What do you think?
I don't think it does, because movies are taken. Just because Avatar: Way of Water made money doesn't mean they're going to greenlight an Alita movie. They have to look at the economics. Every movie is its own business.
Do you think that changes if James Cameron goes to them and says, fine, I'll direct it myself?
Probably, but I don't think he can.
No,
because
he can't.
But here's the thing. I do think that the estimation of Alita has risen over the last 4 years since it came out. Alita is one of those movies that I think there's a lot of people that didn't see it in the theater have seen it on cable and have seen it streaming. And I think there's more of an audience for it now than there was when it first came out. It's one of those movies like even the Terminator. You know, the Terminator was a $4 million movie, and when they greenlit Terminator 2, it was the first $100 million film, because Terminator had grown in stature over the people. Everybody had seen it on home video and on cable, so it's a thing. I think this movie, if they could bring the price down, if they said, okay, we have all these digital assets that we created for the first movie that already exist. We don't have to spend $170 million on it. If they could bring the price down to $125 million, you know, cut $50 million out of that budget, well, then it becomes economically feasible. And if they're talking about making it a streaming movie or even a series, and they could figure out a way, like do it as a 6-episode limited series or something. It just comes down to economics. But I do think the Alita Battle Angel universe is worth revisiting. And I think that they could make a really great movie out of it. These movies, John, are too expensive.
Yeah,
they're all too expensive. And the thing is, if you can't cut your budget from $175 million down to $125 million, you're not doing your job. You've got to figure out a way to do it. And that's what they should learn, this lesson for Star Trek. You know, the Star Trek franchise as a film franchise could be viable if they don't spend $175 to $200 million on a Star Trek movie. Bring it down to 125. And if you can't do that, you don't know how to make movies correctly in this day and age.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think? Now, you got to separate the question of, do you want another Alita Battle Angel, and do you think it's realistic that they could do one? I'm in the category of I'd like to see another one. I don't know how feasible it is. Maybe it will be if, like Rob said, they can bring the price down. Question is for you. What do you think is going to happen here? Do you think James Cameron's success with Avatar: The Way of Water is going to influence things? I mean, he wouldn't be directing the new Alita. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money. Do you know how much your subscriptions cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200. If you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, you need Rocket Money. When I started using Rocket Money, I couldn't believe how many things I was still paying for. Ann and I haven't lived in Burbank for almost 2 years, and I didn't realize I was still paying for a gym membership in Burbank for 2 years. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills, all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about, like that streaming service you bought to watch just one show on, or that free trial that you never even used, or like me, a gym membership in Burbank. Simply find the subscriptions you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. So stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea.